everyone, my name's Tamina, and I'm on my fire escape. I don't know if you can tell. I wanted to just be outside and get some fresh air, and usually I get it out here on my fire escape. So yeah, I thought it'd be cool to just have like these little fire escape chats where I talk about something that's like on my mind, or something that that's on my mind. That's it. Basically, I just want to talk about like things that I think about and opinions I might have or struggles I might have, and maybe you guys have it too. Maybe you guys have solutions that I obviously don't have. Yeah, this is a little fire escape chat, kind of like a fireplace chat, but I'm broke, so I don't have one of this. Yeah, I think today I wanted to talk about something that I've been kind of struggling with, especially during this time inside during quarantine, where we have a lot of time to our own thoughts and our head and everything else that happens in between. So on top of like the general stresses of what's going on in the world, I realized that I overthink a lot, and I think when it comes to the things I'd like to do creatively, I think there is a struggle that I go through, and I'm sure other people go through, and that's seeing your inspirations and people who inspire you or give you ideas, and like looking up to them and enjoying whatever content or whatever they create, finding the balance between that and not comparing your own work to their stuff. I know for me, it's kind of like, because I'm inspired by other people's work, it's only natural for me to want to like either incorporate that, or it's kind of blends into my own like aesthetics and my own creative thoughts. And because of that overlap, I think it's really easy to compare your own work to their work and to what they are creating. And I know for myself, it like disturbs what I want to do. Like, it stops me actually from doing what I want to do, because a lot of the time I make something, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna make this thing, I wanna make this video, create this idea, and then shortly after somebody else does something similar, and I'm in total, like, I get so distraught over it, because not that I feel like I own the idea or that it's totally unique that no one else would ever think of, but especially for someone who isn't as confident in their own work, it, I guess, hits a little harder, and then I don't want to do it, you know? Like, I just like, what's even the point? I didn't even, like, what I'm saying is not that unique, what I'm creating and putting into the world is not that useful, it's not, you know, this or that, and it kind of, I guess, like, takes away from what I'm doing. Frankly, I don't think that I'm doing anything special. I just like to, you know, create videos or like make something like art, like doodle, or, you know, bullet journal and make spreads, and like there's stuff that is not really, I guess, conventionally or like traditionally useful. And I think especially now with everything going on, I feel even more so, because like I'm giving people something to watch, I guess, and to relate to in some way, but I'm not exactly saving lives. So that's also like another thing that kind of eats away at my creative juices, if you will. and that kind of sucks because a lot of great things happen when you are just creating things that you want to see and want to put together and get excited about and actually have a passion towards. I don't know, there's such a mix of what's being said and what people see and how people and creatives actually feel. And I think now more than before, a lot of creative people, I keep saying creatives, but like that's I'm trying to be like all-encompassing, because this applies to artists, musicians, to writers, to YouTubers, to dancers, to you name it, actors. Someone who uses that creative side of their brain to make something and put it into the world, that takes a lot of energy. That's why I keep saying creatives, basically. I want to be all-encompassing. This is like kind of across the board, and I'm sure this is also applicable to people who don't have jobs that are what I listed. It can go across the board. I just think in this particular case, like, just trying to stay motivated and inspired without comparing yourself is just so hard. It's really tough. and I do think like what I'm making is like fun and like cool, and I get excited, and I'm very much like, oh, I want to execute it this way, I want to do it this way, I want like to use, let's say for when I make like these doodle stuff, like I want these colors, or when I make YouTube, I want this shot, I want to talk about this, and I get really excited. Then when you have to put in the hard work, you start just over-analyzing and just thinking too much into it, and just getting overwhelmed by like what's wrong and what's like okay, and what does this really, is this really what I wanted to execute and how I want to execute it. And it's so exhausting. I have to like hype myself up, I have to like create like some kind of routine, I have to do all these things before I actually get to sit down and do whatever I'm trying to do. And that part is probably the most exhausting part than even doing the task itself, just because it takes more mental power to tell yourself, yeah, no, what you're doing is good, you can do it, and then sit down, and then while you're doing the activity, while you're going through the process, you also continuously have to tell yourself, keep going, you got this, it's good, it doesn't even need to be perfect, just want to get, you know, your idea across. And it's just so exhausting. And this video isn't meant to be like, I guess, defeatist. It's just kind of something, I guess, to think about, or something I've been thinking about. And the other day I was watching a couple of my favorite YouTubers, and they were being very honest in a lot of what they were saying and how they're feeling during this time. And some of my favorite YouTubers who've like inspired me, not only like, you know, for videos and to make videos, but like just inspire me in general, and even just make me happy to see their stuff. They have been very honest about how all of this is affecting them, and even prior to that they've been on the more transparent side as far as feeling motivated to create, to make things, to put things out there, to even just like go through the flow of, you know, their life, especially since they do it full time. And I guess watching the more recent stuff, it like, I guess, hits home more. I was watching Best Dress, aka Ashley, and she's actually going through a routine alone, and she's in the city now, and it was just so overwhelming to see her stuff, her video, or that video rather, where she's like going through the city, that I miss so much, that like honestly influences and inspires me. It just makes me happy to see, especially now when it's like it's spring, summer, whatever the heck you want to call this weird in-between time in New York, but was just so overwhelmed because I felt like I wasn't doing enough of what I wanted to do. But at the same time, it was just like so nice to see and so refreshing to see that side of the process in a way, and just seeing somebody be them. And it's honestly why I watch a lot of her stuff. It's why I watch That's She. That's why I watch Kenny JD. Like, I like to watch these people because they're kind of very open about how they feel on some things, and maybe not as open as they could be, or maybe what they're showing is still just scratching the surface, but it's still nice to see, and I just wanted to give them that little shout out. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if any of this connected. It's really tricky to kind of divide the line between what is inspiring you, who is inspiring you, and the work that inspires you, and not compare yourself to it. And honestly, the cliche of it all is that you just have to trust yourself and go for it, and not to completely eliminate the thought, because it's not possible, I don't think, at least, but to not let it hold you back. Don't let it like keep you from making something. I tried to make this video 3-4 times now in over a span of weeks. Mind you, the topic has changed a little bit because I thought this was really important to talk about. Maybe you guys can tell me what you guys do when you get stuck like this. I guess now it's a little bit of a different situation compared to what you would usually do, but I'm curious, like, what do you guys do? How do you feel about this? What are your thoughts on it? It's just, it's rough out here. And, that's coming from someone who's just wants to talk to the camera and wants to talk to whoever is willing to listen. I hope it helps you guys to hear that you aren't alone in any of this, which, again, I'm sure you've heard before, but from somebody who is literally just starting out and literally just does stuff for really for her friends to see or family to see, I just hope that it helps for you to hear. I'm not sure if it's even a different perspective, but yeah. So I hope all of that kind of makes sense. And I hope it helps for you guys to hear it from another person on the internet. I hope you guys are all doing well, staying strong mentally and emotionally, as well as physically. Do what you need to do, and just do your best. And it's okay if that's not 100% of the time, but you try. Be healthy, guys, and stay well.